I would like to start on a lighter side. You being the key figure in global adaptation towards MTM across the globe, I would like to know, can you give a very brief about what MTM as an organization does, and also can you give an insight about what sparked a passion for you towards MTM?
Okay, that is a nice question. I will start with the more personal aspect. It's my passion for MTM started when I was a student at university. I learned the methodology in Austria because I was born and raised in the south of Vienna, and there I was introduced to the methodology. And it gives me stability, accuracy, and let's call it safety when I do my improvement projects. Because when I go to the factory and I see an opportunity to improve and I use MTM, then I can describe the effects, the efficiency gains in advance. And that was what fascinated me, and it kept me my whole business life. So that is, and at the moment I have the chance to be responsible for all the global MTM activities, which is a great honor. And but I'm also doing that with a high dignity for the companies that are applying MTM
Absolutely.
on a daily basis. So what we do globally is MTM. Let me start with a short sentence about what MTM is. We would call it a predetermined motion time system. So it's a kind of, we use blocks in order to describe processes operated or performed by the humans. And when we describe the process, we get a description of the process and we get the time. And this we need to plan stuff, to design work spaces, to design or to balance assembly lines. So we need that as an industrial engineering tool, and it is a very fundamental tool since the 1950s. And this tool this methodology we are trying to disseminate globally. And we do this dissemination on the one side as a non-profit organization, which is the MTM Association, and there we do research and training. But we also have a commercial unit, which are the where we develop software and where we do the consulting jobs.
The innovation side of things.
Exactly. And in this setting, in our structure, we have partners in the US, MTM Productivity Services, and in China, so that we can we have the connections from the west to the east. So. And then we also run a network called the One MTM Network, where we distribute MTM also with the same standards, with the same training material, with the same approaches in 14 countries around the globe where our customers are. And that is mainly what we do.
Amazing, amazing. I can see where you started, where your passion ignited from, and also the vision that you have for the organization, the multiple organizations within MTM supports both non-profit and also the business. It's so amazing to hear. Thank you for sharing that. And
thank you that you're so interested in this topic.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. And my next question would be, with MTM setting the gold standards when it comes to productivity improvement across the globe, how do you see MTM as an organization evolving with the changing needs of the Industry 4.0 and digital transformation? Can you share your perspective on it?
The organization mainly is not changing because the structure remains more or less the same. What changes is the methodology. So the methodology, we have the fundamentals of our process building block systems, but we have to digitize them because that is what Industry 4.0 is all about. And what we especially do is we develop the methodology where we can combine physical load with ergonomic descriptions, that is called human work design. And this MTM building block system gave us, 3 or 4 years ago we published it, and this gave us the opportunity to evolve towards the digitization because we have a very clear and detailed process description, and this detail now is needed for the digital planning work that we do. Because we see so many methodologies on one side, human simulation, VR systems, AI applications, we see AR systems, we see video capturing, we see assistant systems. So there is so many technology in that field that supports human work, human labor, and our approach is to support these systems when these systems or these software tools, when they are asked for, how long does it take? Because in the digital planning phase, sooner or later you will compare alternatives. You plan a work system, you see a work method there. If you are happy, then you can introduce it or you can develop it towards the shop floor. But if you're not happy, you are comparing alternatives. And if you do that, you want a solid base to compare the alternatives. And this is the time. And the time coming from MTM is based on a standard performance. And it's always the same fundament where you evaluate time.
Absolutely.
So what we do is we develop the methodology towards a digitization. And this is what we do. And the tool or the ideas behind that is what we call MTM Motion.
Amazing. So from Professor Kuhlang, from what you said, what I understood is the MTM gives the foundational building blocks, and whatever technology that evolves over a period of time, when the foundational building blocks and the pillars are strong, anything that comes new can still be evolved and adapted faster, right? As long as the pillars are stronger. And that is what MTM sets as a standard. That's amazing to hear. My next question would be, Professor Kuhlang, manufacturing leaders, we work with a lot of organizations across the globe, OEMs and tiers in various spaces in ag, construction, automotive. So one of the major challenges that we see is manufacturing leaders struggle to achieve their productivity targets. Every organization handles productivity differently, different approaches, lean methodologies. And we know, you and I, we very well know PMTS plays a massive role. And not all organizations are taking advantage of PMTS, right? So what's your perspective on that, and how do you think the manufacturing leaders globally should adapt towards the PMTS?
That is really a fascinating question, because we also have that experience that manufacturing leaders are not keen on having these targets defined on a neutral base. They have their targets that they have to achieve, but they use as is information about the processes. That's good, but they have no fundamental benchmark platform in order to compare what their processes, about the performance of their staff, about their processes. So, and to apply MTM, it is not a quick process to apply. It takes time, it takes effort, and that is mainly, or probably one of the main reasons why manufacturing leaders are not so keen on that. But if you once have introduced MTM, continuous improvement, setting targets for lean improvement projects, all these gets much easier when you can rely on these fundamental base of the predetermined motion time standards that we use. And I'm not sure what if I could give, or if I have the opportunity to set or to give an advice to manufacturing leaders. It is, in the meantime, since we have digitized the MTM application, really in a broad way, the effort is not high anymore to implement it. And usually the best way is to set up a kind of lighthouse project and try to find out and check or identify the biggest opportunities where you can improve, and that is usually just the work of 1 week, and then we can see the potentials, and then we can set the targets. I'm not talking about the full implementation of MTM, but just step by step, small little steps ahead. And this is what I would recommend in order to understand productivity better and to develop productivity. That is, you can apply it everywhere in logistics process, manufacturing, assembly processes, all activities where humans are working. That is my wish. Absolutely. If we can go into that direction, because that is what we should do globally.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, it's a very brilliant perspective. Thank you for sharing that, Professor Kuhlang. What I see is you do not necessarily have to go full-blown implementation on the first go. What you're suggesting is go phase by phase, pick up a pilot project, a lighthouse project, prove to the world, because in Japanese Kaizen, it is always said,
that's the same
seeing
idea.
is believing. So bring the entire crew together, the leadership together, let them see the pilot. When they see the success of the pilot, then everybody starts believing it. And then what you're saying is scaling up is so easy because of the digital technology, right? It doesn't take much time for the adoption of the entire, at a plant-wide level. And I see it as a very possible opportunity for manufacturing organization.
And sorry, one point to add is,
the
manufacturing companies, they usually have systems in place where they do where they plan the work description, and they usually have some. So to use these information that are there also, and you enrich it with the vision or the perspective of MTM. That is what we usually do, to see the points where you can improve. That is the point. And coming with a software tool that supports the MTM application makes it really easy.
Yes. No, I get it, and I think it is not only manufacturing, even the supply chain world can take advantage, and it has a very widespread application and perspective to use, and very rightly emphasized on the need for the implementation side. And I hope industries take advantage of PMTS, MTM methodologies, because it's really a gold standard. And personally, from my own experience, if I have to say, I started my career with automotive industry way back in '94. Now with these years of my experience, the last 10 years working with Caresoft, I can see when you implement PMTS methodologies like MTM, which takes a forefront, I see organization can go to a granular level of ability to solve, kill the NVAs, non-value added times, because you can slice and dice the time, and when you find out the waste, it's not a surface level, it's a granular level.
Next time we do the interview in the other way around. I ask you and you explain how it works. That was a perfect explanation.
We will do that. As a practitioner, I would love to do that, Professor Kuhlang, but thank you for that perspective. Now, I would like to end this, Mastermind podcast with a very lighter question. I always believe in passing on our knowledge and wisdom to the next generation. So, as a leader, Professor Kuhlang, I would like to ask, what would be the one piece of advice that you would like to give to the young generation, the industrial engineers, the manufacturing engineers, the process engineers who are aspiring to start a career in this field? What would be your one thought or advice for them to be successful in their career?
To be successful, usually you need passion for what you do, and if you love that field where humans are working in order to create products, or if they work in a supply chain, so they create value. And if you are passionate on that, then that is what you need. So if you must love what you do, and that is more or less the fundament for each to be successful in your career. The second thing is, when I look at my personality or my experience I gained in my 35-year career, is I was always consistent in the sense of working hard. So not waiting, being active, being proactive, being interested, asking for things. Can I do this? What can I help there? What do I see there? So going forward, sitting there waiting, but developing, and developing on one side with the content, with the professional topics, but also developing the character, the what is it? I missed the English word, but it's a
can-do attitude.
Yes, the attitude. That is the right, and that's why I said love what you do and be consistent, and that is amazing. That is what I.
So what I hear is create a passion for what you like to do, and make your hands dirty.
Make the hands dirty. That is a good formulation.
Yeah, make your hands dirty. Go and work on the shop floor. Learn firsthand from the experience of others, and more importantly, gain that attitude
What I also want to. I have another point that came up. For example, if I look at an organization like Caresoft Global, you also must find the environment that enables this development. And when I look at your organization, I'm not totally familiar, but we work together a lot with some of your colleagues, Sharat Garg, for example, and Arjun Najendra. So, but the setting of the company must also enable that, and there is an open opportunity in a global company with digital tools, broad topics, supply chain, manufacturing, so wide topics, and that is what fascinates me, to see different areas. That creates passion, and that
naturally that creates the passion. Oh, that's brilliant too, and thank you for sharing that perspective as well. And I'm super honored to be here in this MTM Summit. And one of the things that I really liked is the theme "Time to Win." I think it's so appropriate in today's time because there is enough opportunities for organization to take advantage of tools like methodologies like MTM, and it is time to win is something that's so powerful.
There are two meanings in that time to win.
I would love to. I would love to hear
the first idea is now it's the right point in time to win, but the other aspect is in the processes you can win time to gain productivity. So the right point and the duration.
That's an amazing.
That's the idea behind time to win.
Came up. Time to win, and yes, I do believe time to win, and I would like to end the podcast thanking Professor Kuhlang for his time and the opportunity to meet with him in person in Hamburg, and I think there is a lot to do together, as between organizations MTM and Caresoft. I look forward to more of these conversations, and I hope to see you in another podcast.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Very much appreciated that I had the opportunity to talk to you, and I also look forward to more intensified activities between the MTM world and Caresoft again. Absolutely. That would be fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the session. Amazing. Bye.
Perfect.
Okay. Wow.